Online Holdings, Itai Hadas, former William Hill, Banos Marinos, Entergaming Platform, Suram Hachatia, Digitech, moderated by Shahab Atias, Hybrid Interactions.
Wow, so many people. Hello everyone, I hope that you're here. It's 5 p.m., second day of Sigma. I hope that you're here because you want to, and not because you have no social life. My name is Shahab Atias. I run a serial consultancy agency. We're focused on optimizing lifetime value for iGaming B2C operators. We do that by applying proven retention techniques and VAP management tactics. This panel's topic is actually on omni-channel loyalty, which is something that obviously is part of what we do as well. And all of us would like to ask you guys to ask as many practical questions as you could, because the way I see it, the worst case scenario is that you might even get an answer. Yeah. So, my friends, as Stephen King, the author, once said in his Dark Tower novel, the world has moved on. So, how did it all begin? When mommy and daddy loves each other very much. No, sorry. Okay, so, at the beginning, everything was allowed and we were all compliance-free when we were happy. And then came the regulation and gave us the lovely taxation, ads banning, and conferences without any body-painted models. However, it also allowed us as an industry for retail operators to migrate online and do it legally. That's actually how omni-channel was born, and this is how it came to the world. If I fast forward you past to the last decade or so, currently most EU markets are regulated. The US allow online sports betting, and Swedish people are saying, oh, it's not enough to be tall and blonde, let's just create all the best performing games, and also allow players to play and pay without registering, just to make CRM executives miserable. So, who do we have here with us on stage to tackle these problems? We have with us Kashmir with Hard Rock. We have Angelo with Bet One. Okay, one. We have Itai Hadas, formerly with William Hill PLC. We have with us Thanos, representing his own company. And we have Suren, the CEO of Digitech. So, I have to say, considering the topic at hand, this is probably the best panel I could have hoped for, excluding the AVN Awards in Vegas, obviously. But again, speaking of Sigma, all of these are professionals. I suggest you guys to listen carefully to what they say. I know all of them in person and was part of the selection process, apart from Angelo, but I mean, look at that body. I mean, I would have him with me at any panel. So, yeah, let's get cranking. Guys, if you could please quickly personally introduce yourself and also say what can you contribute to the topic at hand, to omni-channel loyalty.
My name is Christian Mispajic. I'm running the Hard Rock International Interactive Division. What my focus of this conversation is going to be is give you kind of a perspective from brick and mortar business, which is entering now into an online gaming business, and how we do and what we do when it comes to loyalty.
I've been focusing a lot on applications as well to omnichannel loyalty. Starting from when I had the platform in the past also, and recently focusing on applying AI to a more focused general application across the industry, on both on-based and also online channels.
I'm Itai, and I used to be Omni-channel director of William Hill up till recently. Before that, I used to be a strategic advisor to Lambda Squad for Omni-channel, and at the moment I'm advising different companies around Omni-channel strategy and implementation.
I'm Panos. I've been in the business from 2002, worked both on the operators and also on the platform provider part. And I'm here to discuss actually what we're missing, what we're not doing correctly when it comes to the convergence and the loyalty to make the gap smaller between retail, online, mobile.
I'm Suren from Digitane. We provide a fully managed iGaming platform on sports betting. We have a lot of experience in regulated countries like Kazakhstan and Russia, where we have partners who are licensed in those territories and have been predominantly operating in retail environment and recently moved into online. So I believe there are some couple of topics that we can touch upon and challenges that they face.
Excellent. So we're already nearly halfway through the time we have, so let's try to be quick. Guys, and maybe this time we'll start the other way around from Suren. What's your own view at large on the way currently the industry handles omni-channel loyalty?
Well, it's online is developing rapidly, especially also mobile. We have to mention, because for us, even on our platform, probably 70-80% of business is mobile. But retail is very important. It builds trust amongst the players, operators who have it. It's also a channel of communication where people can come and find themselves in betting and gaming environment. It's a point of reference for them for advice, issues. It's a trust building factor. And to link the player and the experience between street retail, web, wherever he will open it, and mobile is very important.
Thank you.
Sahar, if you were talking about this 5 years ago, you would have heard a lot of different stories. I mean, both operators, but also the end user, the client, couldn't describe correctly this omni-channel experience that we currently have in most of the operators out there. So I think the market made it evident to both operators, but also to the clients, that they need a unified approach when they engage with a brand. So this is happening in a large format in most of the operators, but we still have a long way to go. A few good examples is what's happening now in the US. Krasimir is more equipped to speak about this, but this is how you actually manage to get the hardcore retail client and start bringing him, onboarding him on the online experience. So the convergence, it's happening in some territories in a better way than it's happening in others. So we still have a long way to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think we still have a long way to go. I think that the industry as an industry is divided into two main groups. The one that's still speaking in the terms of migrating customers and the post-marketing customer, which is not an only thing. It doesn't work. You can't migrate customer with a migrate database. The customer should go there. And the other side of the industry that already understood that omnichannel is an ecosystem. It's an ecosystem of experience. There is a reason why retail customers are not playing online. They know that the brand has an online app, online option. There's a reason why it's not there. So if you understand why they are not there, and you can get this, you can close this gap, you will get this ecosystem, you get the loyalty.
Angela?
We've had an interesting case actually recently in applying omnichannel in Africa, where they jumped straight to the mobile. So you get a lot of cross challenges between mobile and land-based, because obviously there are a lot of people who actually either pay you cash or pay you by their mobile wallet. With this project with Media Gaming, actually they are doing lotteries, and it was actually quite successful. So this was something that was a very different experience from working in Europe or North America where we had worked before. And I do see that may be actually a model that can lead the way in the industry.
For me, deep, seamless integration between the products and distribution channels is key. So if you're offering casino, sports, bingo, whichever product you're offering, regardless of which channel you're offering, retail, web, mobile, you need to create kind of a seamless experience for customers, which kind of give a value that really matters to them.
Cool. And it reminds me actually something that we discussed previously, both of us, about the differences in markets. You said that in the US, where what is considered to be Omni is different by how it is being perceived by the rest of the world.
I mean, if you look at an online world, it's very, very hard to differentiate with the loyalty programs. Most of the loyalty programs with the big online operators are look-alike, right? Bonus here, bonus there, free play, similar things. When it comes to the US, things are very, very different because of the integration between the bricks and mortar rewards programs and online programs. You can actually offer material, tangible rewards and experiences that money cannot buy. And basically the whole idea which we're trying to do in the United States is to try to offer a bit of in-person experiences which you experience in integrated resorts when you're playing online. The biggest obstacle to do this properly is basically technology. You have a different basically technological solution between your online products and brick and mortar products, both on a platform basis but also on a CRM and systems that support loyalty. So how flexible your tech is and how much resources you can put in it, your success deeply depends on this.
Interesting. So actually, unlike what's happening, let's say in the UK, where retail is effectively a sports bookie on the corner, in the US it would be a full resort that offers so much more than just another skill.
Exactly. What we are doing, we are trying to achieve three things. Single sign-up, regardless on which basically distribution channels you come, you have to sign up only once, being basically retail or any of the online product, and immediately you become a rewards member of what we call kind of the whole vertical product, online and offline. Second, what we are trying to do is so-called shared loyalty, so you can make points or rewards playing online and playing offline and exchange them basically in the both environments. And three, basically, which is a novelty, is a single wallet. You can move basically money from your online product to a retail product and then from a retail product to online. The winners of this is the people that can do this in a seamless way and for which basically deliver the customers the rewards and prizes that they want.
Okay. And Angelo, can you share more about your experiences in Africa?
Yes, so...
I mean, not all experiences. We're talking about how much you learned.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that actually was received very well, better than I expected. This is why, in fact, I was pleasantly surprised about it. Because the customers there are actually ready to accept it. They are used to using the mobile first, so almost no one uses desktop there. They're used to using the terminals also in the street. So that was actually quite interesting to see how, I've been using from their mobile, they switch to land-based, it's literally mostly terminal and mobile. And also the use of maybe lower-end devices, which is, for example, just text-based messages rather than higher-end smartphones, and how we actually are linking them together, because the lower-end smartphone, non-smart smartphones really, are almost a different channels by themselves. I mean, they're both mobiles, but they have to be treated quite differently, because you need to have a different interface, you need to have, problems with lower bandwidth, so you need to segment them completely. And I think this is also something that maybe the channels in that market are even finer segmented than you would do. You would automatically assume that everyone has a smartphone in the West, but you cannot actually make the assumption. But what I found is that by making these changes, you actually can improve also the experience in other countries. So by not assuming that you will always have a good bandwidth, you can actually provide a better experience by optimizing that. So I do believe that that is a market where other countries can actually learn from in the omnichannel, and it does increase the retention actually and play.
Very nice. Itai, you have mentioned all sorts of supporting tools that could be applied in order to increase the loyalty.
Yeah, one of the major catalysts for retail customer to move into online is a retail companion app or some digital experience for the retail experience. All kind of tools that will close the gap between retail to online will create a benefit to the customer to go toward online, will create a benefit for the customer to use the same brand and develop this loyalty, and is always helpful. In terms of European market, there is a big difference between brands that can operate their own betting shops, because one of the major things that enable this Omni operation is the retail operation, is the shop colleague that helps customer giving face-to-face sales, face-to-face service, and take them through the way. So there's a difference between the brands that operate their own betting shop to those that have franchise model, where it's very hard to negotiate with the franchisee, explaining the benefit for him to help customer moving online.
Cool, thank you. And Carlos, you've actually seen it all: tools, markets, approaches. Give us the success stories.
Yes. What I would advise, if you like, the operators to do is to restructure and rethink the model they apply. That means if they really want to offer an omni-channel experience and not just advertise that they have a seamless wallet and that's it.
Oh, it's not enough?
So that's what I mean.
You just say something and it's happened.
Yeah. So what is important is that they put more value to their teams. That means they need to have a very good BI and analytics team, and they need to listen to that. They need to have marketing managers that they are of the new era, if you like, that they're not utilizing old-fashioned marketing techniques. They look ahead, how they can captivate the customer and keep him engaged in the channels that the customer decides. What I mean is omni-channel is not something you enforce to the customer. It's something that you lay all the options and he engages with the one that he fits and he finds comfortable for his actions. You cannot force the omni-channel. You need to have it there because this is how the market is, but the end user, the customer, is the king. He needs to decide which element of your omni-channel platform is going to use. And back to what Angelo said very correctly about Africa, you have a lot of ways of making the convergence between the retail and online. Like we discussed earlier about book a bet, that you can actually place your bet, create a code, and then you take this code and go directly to one of the shops and place your bet without having to wait, without having to make the queue, without having to interact at all. You can even go in a self-service betting terminal and bam, that's your bet. So there are many ways of doing it, but again, it needs to come from the ecosystem and it needs to be offered to the clientele. And the client is going to decide.
So you actually allow the client to decide?
They have the money, don't forget that.
We'll need to digest it. And so from your fun stories in Kazakhstan and other markets that you operate, how does your technology help your partners, the operators, to actually handle both fronts in the retail and online?
Yeah, we thought about how we should keep partners engaged after they leave the retail premises, and thought about a couple of features. Just to bring an example to extend on what Andros said, the same book a bet feature in markets where people like putting the large accumulators, obviously it's impossible to dictate over the counter, so it's easier for them on the mobile or on the web to make their bet and then dictate the number to the counter. Also, they can do the cash out from the website, just entering the numbers on the bet slip. Same way they give the possibility for a player to check the status of their bet if they can key in the bet slip number. But the most popular thing was the fusion that we did between sports betting and lottery. So what we were doing for every ticket, for every paper ticket that was printed in the bet shop, we would suggest certain lottery numbers. At the end of the week, we had a TV show with a big prize and the actual lottery draw. This kept people engaged during the week. They were waiting actually for the weekend. And for those who missed the TV show, they can go to the website to check the results if they won anything. So,
The basics.
basics. But they work.
Okay, before I move to my last questions, we only have a few minutes, so anything from the very interested and engaged crowd over here? We only have time for about 60 questions, so please queue up. Anyone? You want to ask the panel if they are married or single? Okay. So, last question, as I said, going forward, what lies in the future? I mean, how does this aspect of our industry is going to change in the near future? What kind of development you see in the pipeline that are going to change the way we interact with players across the channels? Kashmir, please.
It's not a simple answer, right? It depends about two things.
The simple, we had other people.
Right? But I think different markets or different territories, we have to use different strategies. We discussed, Africa is very different from the US, from Europe, and many other places. The second is also depends in which life cycle is your company at the moment. Somebody has to first take care of the basic, make sure the tech is working, make sure that, this is a seamless experience between all the channels and between all the products. And then when you're in advanced level, when you do basically the basics, then you are focusing, okay, how now I can differentiate? What I can offer to my customers that is uniquely based with my product, with my brand positioning, that others are not doing, that will create kind of a competitive advantage. But ultimately, at least how I see, combination kind of experiences, offline and online, will dominate in the future, and this is already visible basically in some other industries, where you have lots of purchases in e-commerce happening online, but ultimately you need to experience tangible stuff in a physical environment, for some products, in some cases, to make a decision. So I think that the future is going into a deeper integration between online and offline, and being able actually to earn something which is tangible and a material outside maybe just of the online environment in which you participate as a customer.
Thank you. Guys, really in a sentence. Angelo?
I see the future that AI will be driving better optimized omni-channel. Loyalty, I think that there will be customized models for each different territory, and also I think it will lead to better player tracking across multiple channels. I think this is also a key important contribution.
#simple.
Yeah, #simple. So I think the near future will be around the machine learning and micro-segmentation. At the moment, omni-channel looks at retail customer, online customer. We need to cut it to very, very small pieces in order to understand it.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's very nice that we don't hear the word cannibalization anymore. That means the retail players, and let us not forget retail is bigger than online. Still, as we speak now, the revenue from retail is much bigger than the online. So by now, we don't hear almost anyone from the big retail players talking about cannibalization and getting electric shocks when they hear about online. Now they say, oh, we embrace the omni-channel approach. That means this is going to grow. And it's going to be the way forward.
And Suren, in 7 seconds.
Just to add, I think what mentioning the no registration casino and betting concept, which might bring us back to the challenges with retail, where you have people who are not identified, betting in cash over the terminal. Then suddenly we have online, where we have all information about the players can work with that. But now again, we might face a situation where we have no data, people are playing, and again we are getting the same challenge.
All fun. Guys, we love you all. Thank you.